Is there an afterlife? Some people say, death is like extinguishing a lamp. Once you die, there is no afterlife. This is the lost view of annihilation. Others say that there is an afterlife, that a seed planted in the soil will blossom and bear fruit again, and that there is an afterlife, and that after death, of course, one will come back to be a human being again and will not change. This is also the common view of the lost. The common belief that there is no afterlife after death, and the common belief that people will definitely be human beings after death are not the truth of life. Death is not like the extinction of a lamp, and death is not necessarily a human being, but with karma, the flow of the five interests, the six paths of reincarnation, the earthly and the heavenly for the good, and the hells, ghosts, and the beasts for the evil, which is the true life. When a seed is sown into the soil, it will grow, blossom, and bear fruit with sufficient karma such as sunlight, air, and water. Of course, how can we say that there is nothing left when a person dies? However, from cause to effect, the karma is also very important. If we only talk about the cause and erase the most important karma, this is the greatest confusion and foolishness. Originally, a high-ranking official, only because of treachery, jailed as a prisoner, prison life treatment, even pigs and dogs are not as good as. From the present life, it seems that people's life is poor through life, even life. There is a paradise and hell. Actions and deeds can affect the good and bad luck and fortunate and unfortunate. Everything can be changed, not to mention the next life. Time has spring, summer, autumn, and winter. The world has success, residence, bad and empty. The mind has birth, residence, change and extinction. Life has birth, old age, sickness and death. The universe and life, and even all things are circular, as if the clock of hours goes forward again and again, but in 12 hours it is not finished. In life, life is not the beginning, and death is not the end. When you go forward, you turn back, not in a straight line. As the saying goes, a river of spring water flows eastward. The fact that the sun rises and sets, and that what has gone will come back again, is an illustration of the fact that there is an afterlife. There is hope only if there is an afterlife, but there must also be good karma and good rewards. And this is the world of the enlightened. People want to know the future. In fact, if you want to know the cause of your past life, the recipient of this life is you. If you want to know the fruit of your next life, the author of this life is you. Do you want to know if there is an afterlife? The cycle of cause and effect. You can know the present from the past, and you can also think about the future now. And when you are enlightened, you can know that the three worlds are one. The 3,000 thoughts are one. Is there an afterlife? Karma is the past, present, and future of life. Do not think that if you do evil, you will not be rewarded in the next life. Do not think that if you do good, you will not be repaid in the next life. In fact, no good deed goes unpunished in the next life. No good deed goes unpaid in the next life. In fact, no good deed goes unpunished in the next life. The greatest foolishness of human beings is to think that there is no afterlife. Because of the mystery of the yin and yang, people do not see the future with their own eyes, so they do not believe that there is an afterlife. Genes can change the quality of the human race, and good and bad karma can change the future of life. The fascination of the human world should not be taken lightly. Understanding time. At this time, when the old and new millenniums are changing, many people, faced with this cross-century moment, inevitably feel nostalgic for the past and the present. And the millennium is just a flash in the pan, so they have begun to think about the issue of time. It has been reported that the United States will build a $10 million modern long-term clock, which will tick once a year and ring once every century, in the hope of reminding busy human beings to slow down their pace and think beyond the fast pace of science and technology, as well as the short-sightedness caused by the hustle and bustle of the myopia. Indeed, the correct understanding of time and the good use of time have been the subject of serious thinking and readjustment for us in modern times. In reality, some people feel that there is not enough time to use, and they can only fight for every second. Some people feel that the time is long and painful, and they sigh that the days are as long as years. You see, some people spend their time on fame and fortune, neglecting the family's affectionate cultivation. Some people spend their time on sex and pleasure, giving up their own learning and further training. If a student does not want to listen in the classroom one day at a time, how can he become knowledgeable in his years? If a farmer does not want to sow and plow his fields one at a time, how can he harvest the fruits after he is old? From this, we can see that if we do not treasure the same amount of time, a mayfly will die in the morning, but not in the evening, while a life of 100 years is not enough for the summer and the winter. Someone once asked Zen Master Xian how to handle time, and the Zen Master replied, "This day is not to be repeated, and an inch of time and a foot of treasure are not enough." In history, Xia Yu didn't value the jewelry of a ruler, but loved the daily inch of time. Some people sigh that life is rare at 70 years old, while some people strive to have a 70-year life, and the one who has mastered the time has the life. He who masters time has life. He who is weary has a long way to go. He who cannot sleep has a long night. He who does not understand the truth has a long life and a long death. This is a good saying. We should know that the time of the past has quietly faded away and will never return. The time of the present flies away like an arrow and is lost in the twinkling of an eye, and the future slowly approaches in hesitation and suddenly passes by. As Gautama said, one day's life is more precious than 3,000 worlds' worth of treasures. In fact, as long as we know time and make good use of it, we can break out of the cocoon of minutes and seconds, days and months. If we know how to grasp the present moment and cherish it, and emulate the three immortalities mentioned by the sages, we can naturally realize that a moment is eternity in our lives, in our virtue, in our merits, and in our words. How can we limit our precious time to the ticking of a modern clock once a year and the ringing of a clock once a century?